Oh my days, did we have the season to remember last year. Won the league, won the cup. We didn't quite do very well in the Pepe Reyes, but we might well have just done absolute wonders in the Champions League. Let's have a look. Hi, I'm Matt, and coming up on today's video, we're going to do a season review of, I think it's season 5 now at this club, and we've done some things last year. Okay, so as you can see, look at that. Another unbeaten season, not only in the first part of the league, because as you remember, it breaks away into the championship group where the last 6 teams play each other one more time, and we also won that convincingly. So we didn't lose a single game again, so that's 2 seasons unbeaten now, with a goal difference of 108 and 71 points, 10 clear of our closest challengers in Lincoln. Now, the unfortunate thing that's really irritating about this is, whilst we're trying to build a nation, we're doing really well, obviously at winning league titles and so on, but these guys here that are qualifying for conference leagues, they're not getting very far. Take Lincoln, for example. Lincoln are our, they're our closest title challengers every year, and every year they get into the Europa League qualifying stage, the Conference League qualifying stage, and they just never seem to get past it. This year, look at the prior year, again, they're getting past that first stage. They got to the 3rd stage here, but lost to Union. I'm not doing enough to get some of my maybe bit part players away from the club and into clubs like Lincoln, so I really need to focus on that a lot in the years ahead. Not to skip ahead too much, but you can see that from the transfers here, right? You can see, look at these players. Travis Dargo, Tobogo Halongwain, Raymond Boyson, we've got Leonardo Hirana and Paulo Otavio. Them 5 players in themselves are actually really good backups to what I would have had at my club, but Lincoln came in for them near the end of their contracts, and I'm thinking, well, it's kind of like a loan farm, but they're going to go permanently, right? So off they went, and they're playing all right. So I'm hopeful that these 5 players, at least, I know 2 of them are going to make a big difference, and that's Tobogo and where's the other one? Paulo Otavio. I know they're going to make a difference to Lincoln, but are they going to help them qualify for the Conference League? I'm not quite sure yet. And like I'd mentioned, we did pick up that another successive Rock Cup this season. I tell you what, it was a tight game as well. If I go to the results, we actually just about beat Lincoln. I think it was a late goal, 96-minute penalty. We won that game with a Gabriel Silva penalty. And overall, we did really well, actually. We had most of the ball, we had bigger XG, more shots on target. But no matter how good this team, i.e. my team, are in this save, Lincoln are always a thorn in our side. And that can be shown just by looking back on last year. You can see that we'd lost to them in the Pepe Reyes Cup. In the league, the first time we played them, we drew 1 each. And the last time we played them in the league before it broke away, did we also draw 1 each as well, I think, from memory? Let me have a quick look down, and oh no, I'll tell a lie. We beat them 4-0 convincingly, but we did draw with them again when it come down to the championship group. But luckily for us, we beat them in the Rock Cup. Now, you have seen some of these games on the live commentaries. You've seen us play against some of these teams up here in the qualifying stages. What I will say is we got the furthest we've ever got in Europe before last season by getting all the way to this last Champions League path playoff second leg against Rangers. The first leg, we were 1 goal behind, losing 4-3 away, and we did lose 2-1 at home to them. So we didn't progress, but we did get into the Europa League phase, as you can see. And as you've seen on the live commentaries, we did play a couple of games against Strasbourg, young boys, Eintracht Frankfurt, and then we started to lose after that. To be fair, we played Monaco and lost convincingly. Adana, a game we probably should have won. We should have done much better than we did here, but we took a 2-1 lead. No, we didn't. Sorry, I tell a lie. They took a 2-1 lead. We equalised in 66 minutes, and then we did lose out to a Brighton. I don't know how to say his surname. Fogueu, maybe, winner in the 74th minute. So we did crash out of Europe, unfortunately. We didn't get through to the knockout phase stage, or the knockout playoff phase stage, so that was a shame. But we did get a lot of money for getting just to that point in Europe. However, this season, though, let's have a look at that. So as you can see, there's a lot of green on that UEFA Champions League qualifying fixtures. look, I'm not gonna draw this out. We've qualified for the league phase of Champions League for the first time in our history. We did that by convincingly beating teams like Shakhtar. We beat Dynamo Minsk earlier on. The interesting thing is that we struggled against this side here, BK Häcken, who a Swedish Premier Division team I'd never really heard of. We were 2-1 down in the first leg, which we took an open. We took the lead from an opener from Gadalcio, as you can see right here, but then they pegged us back. They equalised shortly after and then went on to win the game. I was worrying at this point because I'm thinking, hold up, right? This is a team that I think on paper, given that who we'd beat so far, i.e. Shakhtar, we should be beating these, maybe not convincingly, but we shouldn't be taking a 2-1 deficit back home to the second leg. It did make the second leg quite interesting because whilst they go 2-1 up here on the tie with some poor defending there for the back post, what it did mean is that it set us up for a really entertaining second leg. I'll play through some of the highlights right here, but this was the leg, right? This was the one that probably set us up for that next phase. We started well, some good key signings settled in nicely. Fantastic header from Sancho in the first 3 minutes. So I'm thinking, okay, it's good right here. So we take the tie there. Again, they come into this, they equalise straight off the bat. Inusa, I didn't do enough here. I had to play makeshift right back here because I had no right back because of the various different qualifying rules that you've got to apply for the Champions League. So I had to ditch somebody. But we did take the lead. Celso Jung has been a fantastic signing for us. I'll go for the transfers in a moment. We then took a third. Diarra, near post header, our 6'6", 17 jumping reach centre mid. Definitely going to score from there, isn't he? And then not before long, Inusa come again with a second of a game. So he had a really good game, but we had enough in the tank to see it out overall, finishing it with a fourth. Segara comes running through in here, and look at that for a finish. Bryce Segara, currently named from the Twitch chat we go in every night, Bryce baby. But what a result that was. And that was the game that saw us get through to the Champions League proper. As you can see, I've played 2 games already, but look at that fixture list, right? Liverpool, Ajax, Valencia, Porto, Besiktas, Fenerbahce, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. That is a tough run-in. We just lost this game to Liverpool. It was really heartbreaking. When the game set itself up, we conceded in the first 2 minutes and I'm thinking, oh, welcome to the Champions League. 2 minutes in, we're conceding already. It was a simple goal, a lofted through ball from the back four, over the back four, and a great finish from Adeyemi. But let me tell you, we definitely pegged them back here with a fantastic goal. I think it was in the first half, maybe, 19th, 20th minute from Sancho, but we conceded this shocker in the 90th minute. This goes down as an own goal. It slapped off Matsuo, went past the goalkeeper. Really unfortunate to lose that game 2-1 at home as well. We did really well. XG, shots on target, possession-wise, not so great, but we did well in that game. Yet we went away to Ajax and won this game 2-1. And this was like, I don't know, we didn't exactly FM them. They were definitely the better team. They had more XG, shots on target, more of the ball, but we just took our chances. They took a penalty in the 60th minute. We were doing okay to that point. And then Phillips comes in, another one of our new signings. Honestly, bails us out of a brace. This nice little tap in there to the back post was fantastic. And then just not long after this, 20 minutes or so after, just to close out the game, he comes into the box here late on. I think it's from this left-hand side, sorry. And look, near enough replica, slight dig off the keeper, but we win the game 2-1. It does go to VAR, and we do get the goal allowed, so fantastic win. And we get 2 million quid for that, which, if I look at the finances, look at how much money we've got now. Nearly 20 million quid in the bank. When I started this save, we had 40k. We've got a 3.4 million transfer budget left. I'll show you what's been spent. And a wage budget of 71k a week. So, what does all that money get a team in Gibraltar nowadays? Let's have a look at the transfers. My oh my, did we use some of our budget this year and some of our wage budget to strengthen this squad. Again, as I mentioned at the beginning, I'm trying to get a lot of players in for 2 reasons. 1, to strengthen our squad, but 2, when we've got people on the edge and the peripherals, we can send them out on loan to the clubs that are in Gibraltar to hopefully try and get them either A, qualifying for Europe, the knockouts, the qualifiers, or B, get them past the qualifiers into the European competitions proper to help elevate Gibraltar's coefficient status. We've gone from number 50, we are now number 35 in the UEFA coefficients, so we've moved 15 places in 5 years. Let's see if we can get them in that top 10 before FM25 comes out. Now, before I go through that, let's have a look at some of these signings. Summerjit Fernandez, a free transfer. What a guy. First touch 15, passing 12, technique 16. Yes, he's only 19 years old. He's got a bit of development left at a 4-star potential, but he's a good signing for us. A little bit worried about the consistency. He is a backup, but a solid one at that. There's a few of these guys that I've brought in to help strengthen the squad around us. What I mean by that is these can be people that are in developmental roles, like a ball-winning midfielder at 20. I need a backup. He could be that. He's got a 3.5-star potential, 2-star current ability. Look at the stats here. He's got a lot of elite, I call them elite, blue stats. You know, jumping reach, natural fitness, stamina, work rate, aggression, determination, all in the higher echelons of the attribute table. However, he's in the under-23s right now. I want to develop him there. I'm going to try and get him out on loan across Gibraltar to try and strengthen the squads there. There's quite a few of these coming this year. So the same is going to be happening with Neo Sele, or Neo Seal, however you say it. A backup left back, still 20 years old. He's probably going to be one that we develop a little bit and send him out on loan. The same can be said with Omar Galal. I brought him in for that situation there. In loan out. The loan out is going to develop him this year. Hopefully get him some game time. Get into this potential ability a bit more. He's gone on loan to Al Masri in Egypt, where he's played 7 times or 8 times and scored 3 goals. So that's good. It's 8 more times than he would have played here. But the aim is to probably get him out when he comes back into a Gibraltar club. We've then gone on to sign a couple more of these players on a free. So we've got Ivan Saric. He looks decent for the future. He's only 18, so I have sent him out on loan. He's gone on loan to a Croatian team, Karlovic 1919, where he's played 5 times and got 2 assists. So there's one for the future. He will be a Man 62 player at some point, as well as... lastly in here, we've also sent out this fella. We've signed him, but he's gone back out on loan to the club we signed him from. We signed him 140k. He's got 3.5-star potential. We could probably squeeze that a bit more, but he's gone back out on loan, hopefully trying to get the most out of him. Now, I'm not going to go through every single player. I know I've flown through some guys that are on the edges, but there's some key players that we brought in this year. First of all, Joe Upton from Liverpool, a 20-year-old midfielder / wide man. We got on a free transfer. He looks good. He is a backup, considerable backup, but he's going to develop quite a lot in the next few years, hopefully, if we either play him right or loan him right. So he's one definitely for the future. Very agile, very fit, and hopefully he's very technical by the looks of it as well. Needs some work on the dribbling, though, to be honest. We've then signed Bowen Phillips from Arsenal. This guy's class. Current ability and the potential ability are the same. I don't think he'll get much better, but honestly, with these technicals, I don't really need him to get that much better. He's pushing Sancho for a place in the side, and you know, he's agile, he's fast, he performs well, he's versatile. He's a solid signing. He didn't cost a penny. We need right backs because, again, speaking of Sancho, he's fell out with me. He didn't think we had enough strength in depth at right back, so we had to sign Alex Freeman as an emergency backup right back. He's actually all right, to be fair. But not only him, we signed Jose Valverde. We already had him in before Sancho started whining, but this guy looks good. He's my first choice right now, I think, just based on, well, form, really. He's been okay, but I have signed this fella as well. I don't know how to say his name. Inaki Gorataztegi? No idea, but he's all right. He's earning a bit. He came as a free. Did I pay him? No, I paid 145k for him. Apologies. I paid a bit of money for him, but hopefully that might solve the issue with Sancho and a few more of the players being unhappy that I've not got enough depth at right back. There's 3 right there now that we could play any week. Definitely the first one I've shown you could play most weeks in the league in Alex Freeman. So let's hope they all get happy with that. If they don't, I don't know what to do. And the last 2 key signings I want to show you is this guy. Ironically, I thought, you know, we signed some players from big clubs, but look, Stevenage, League 2. You know, we signed Sancho from, well, he spent a year out of football. We've signed a couple of other players at the top, but Stevenage, 61 grand we got him for, not on a free, but 61k. So far, he's been decent. You know, he's played 8 times, 7 from the bench. He scored 3 goals, 2 in the league. He's been brilliant for us so far. But then the back end of last year, I signed a fella. Is he on that list? He's called this one, Celso Jung. He is also brilliant. I was worried that we're going to have all our eggs in the Victor basket. Turns out, though, that we've got 3 solid forwards now to play with. This one's probably, if his dribbling was a little bit better in maybe the 13 mark, 14, he would be the first starting forward every week. He probably still is, actually. But look at his physicals. Fast. You know, he's got a decent enough stamina and fitness. He's 6'1", and honestly, his technicals, bar his passing, pretty much class for an advanced forward, right? So, you know, he's the one we're going to lean into the most. So that's we've got 3 class forwards, 2 of them coming in this window, well, technically in this transfer period. And so honestly, without going into all the great details, these are our top class transfers. We've got this guy here, Negret, who I signed for our biggest amount of money, which is 450k. He's our left back for the future, whilst he's probably in the pecking order of 3rd behind the top 2 there. He is one for the future, definitely. The only issue I have is crossing's very low, so I really have to start working on that, and I think I'm going to try and get him out on loan at some point. So he's our biggest transfer fee to date at 450k, but he's got a lot of potential. And then lastly, for one of the fee-bearing ones that we paid, it was this guy. This guy looks good. This is Johan Anzola. Now, I kind of got baited into him with the initial scout report. I'm pretty sure it said 4.5-star ability at first. Clearly, they got that one all wrong. This one's a 3-star ability at best, but for a right-sided player, he's all right. He's going to be decent in future. He's 6'4", he's relatively fast. He's good at passing, his technique's good, but I could do these 2 being improved a lot more if we're going to make use out of him as a winger. That said, at centre midfield, he holds some really good key attributes. You know, stamina's up there, acceleration's there, long shots and techniques there. The only issue I've got is low 7s for these 3 pieces here, which is decent. That said, though, the key attributes here in terms of first touch, passing, and decisions, he's got all 3 of them in abundance for this league. So I'm happy, and he's consistent. We all like that. So the squad looks a little bit like this, right? You know, I mean, is this our strongest 11? I mean, I don't know. This could be our strongest 11. Probably is. I mean, Sancho would probably play out there. Phillips can play in here. We have got Quentin back on loan from last season because he was so good for us. So it's a toss-up between Sancho and Bowen Phillips to be on that left-hand side. Matt Shearer was the number 10. I have got, you know, a couple of different number 10s I can play. Van Houten's one of our best players, if not the best at the club. In fact, so good that this year you can see his value is 10 million quid. He's the highest value than any other player we've got. The reason for that, I've slapped that on him with his contract. I've put a £15 million release clause in there, and also Inter Milan have been chasing this guy all the transfer window, and even now it's closed, they're trying to get him on loan. And I'm saying no, they're offering like £50,000 for him. That stint's gone up to like 320,000 now. The minimum I'm selling this guy for is £7.5 million. He got the hump with me at first because I wouldn't let him go, but I'm not doing it. I'm not being forced into letting him go because the big club comes in. He can be unhappy. Everyone else can get upset. I don't mind. But if we keep him, we're going to win more things. Trust me, this guy is an elite footballer. Yeah, I think this is our strongest squad. We've got some really good players in here now that have now classed as homegrown, so I don't have to worry too much about, you know, dropping players from the bench to worry about the homegrown rules I need for the Gibraltar League. So Victor's homegrown, he has been for a while. We've now got Matt Shearer as a homegrown player, James Charles Cowell and also Kieran Garcia. They were always the 2 backups on the bench to class that homegrown status. You need 4 in the matchday squad, so they were always 2 ever-presents. Gadalcio, who's an ever-present left-back for us mainly, is now homegrown. And lastly, Paolo, Sergio and Renell Young have got their homegrown status, so I don't have that homegrown problem anymore. So this is a great squad for us, right? It's probably too big. So I think as we get to January, I'm probably going to offload some of these, you know, outside fringe players, hopefully loan them into the league. But if not, we can try and get a few quid for them and then build from there. Mentioned before, I am trying to loan farm some players out, but you know what? I took it one further this year. I can't manage to get players out on loan, so I sent 5 out on freeze and they've all gone to Lincoln. 3 of them are starting most weeks. I've also sent 2 players out on loan. You can see just to the left of my head here in Ronald, who's a forward, one for the future, 3.5-star ability. He's only 18, sorry. He's gone on loan to Magpies. So far he's played 1 and scored 1, done very well on the average rating. And I've also sent this fella that I'd signed, as you mentioned before, you've seen him, the right winger. This is Johan Anzola. He's gone to Magpies. He too has played 1 game. Not so great on the rating, but there's plenty of time to develop that guy yet. And so far, I've played a few games in the Champions League. As I've said before, I've played them 2 games against Liverpool and Ajax. I've drew against Lincoln in the league at home, and then went away to, I say away, we played the away fixture against Europa FC, where we just scraped through 12-0, and then we've just beaten Magpies 4-0 in the latest follow-up league game, of which, as you can see, can you see on here? You can't see that starting 11, but let me show you. Sam Mather, our old sort of stalwart, old 24, but he left us on a free transfer, didn't want to sign. He got a bit grumpy about something, I can't remember what, but he's left us and joined Magpies. So, we've strengthened them a little bit. They've also got a weird looking team. Look at all these guys here that are like Argentinian. There's quite a lot here, considering, it's a Gibraltar-based club. Nevertheless, Sam Mather now plays for them, which is great because it's good to see players remain in the league. So we are going to be coming back for some live commentary soon. To catch us, if you want to catch us in the game, come and join us over on Twitch, where we stream most nights. At Matt FMFC. And yeah, man, like it's been good doing this save. It's been eye-opening. I'm really excited to carry it on. This is the one thing that's keeping me infused about Football Manager, considering the delays for FM25 and so on. But as you can see, we're now 35th in the coefficients table now. If we can get them up a few places higher, I think we will. Now we're in the Champions League proper this year, and at least I've got 1 win so far. I think we can get them up to maybe 30th after this season. That'll be a really good start into, hopefully we can start to build on successive Champions League qualifiers from here on in, and all being well, we can continue the momentum to bring Manchester 62 to the top end of European football. So that's a whistle-stop tour of our season so far, a couple of games in. Last season's successes, a cup and another unbeaten league win, so we are now currently 64 games unbeaten in the league, which is fantastic. We are then going to go on, hopefully, a Champions League run shortly to increase that coefficient from 35 and above. And then from there, let's see what happens. But if you've liked what you've seen so far, if you've got any comments around some of the content you want to see, drop it down below. Subscribe if you want to see more of our live commentaries and our match day commentary here on YouTube. And thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.